Hey everybody, it's Sabrina. Welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I am going to do the second part of my November goals and creative things and setting that all up in this little notebook that I've put together. If you remember, I started out the year with a Soft Paper Studio planner, and I decided to just have it on these dot grid pages in October. I just felt like that journal was not working, and also I'm starting to wonder if there is a way that I can hang up these monthly pages temporarily so that way they are more visible and I can see them and see them all month, just like I did with my summer goals, because I feel like I was really successful with my summer goals and those were taped up on my wall. So I'll see what I can do to make that happen. But I really enjoy making these creative goal pages, even if I don't get to the goals. I feel like there is so many reasons why these goals are helpful. It reminds me that even in this busy season of life, I can still take time for myself and create. And if I'm not sure what to create, I can just look at these goals. And it's okay if I don't get most of these goals done. It's not the end of the world. As long as I'm enjoying myself, that's what matters, right? So I'm using the Collage Club stickers. I mentioned that in the first part. I loved the color scheme with the November, like kind of a mintish green. I want to say mint green with pink. And it coordinated with a sheet about cats that were sick. I didn't really want to use that, so I found some other journaling stickers that I could use, like the cat sitting with a sheet of photos and cutting it, and then there was a sticker that said busy, busy, and I just changed the colors of that, and that really helped. So I like that. Now I have to pick out my Tombow colors, and I am a little bit fussy, I guess you could say, about my Tombows. I want to make sure that I have just the right colors that match as best as they can, or, match as best as they can. And eventually I got close enough, and that way I can go ahead and actually start this project and stop messing around with all the Tombows. So my first goal is to obviously finish October daily. I am wanting to just wrap this project up. I have everything, all the pieces set out on a big poster board. I think I only need to print out Halloween, and then I'll have everything. And like I said, I just need to put it together, find time to put it together, because I don't want to leave that project undone and then move into December daily. I don't want to do that. So I need to get it done. I decide to draw a divided box and break up the stories or whatever I have to get done. I think I made a list and I just set it off to the side, and I have about 10 things left to do in that album, or I don't know if it's 10 stories. I think it's just 10 things to do, and I can cross off each one as I do it. So that'll be really motivating, filling in a box as I go. I'm also almost done mapping out project life for 2023 and 2024. So I would like to wrap those up and then decide what I'm going to print at home and what I might send away to be printed, because in the summer I finished 2022, and that album is a 6x12. So those are definitely getting sent to persnickety prints to be professionally printed, but maybe I could send in some more. The next thing that I would like to do is there's a scrapbook kit that has the theme of highs and lows, and I just want to brainstorm some ideas on how I can use that kit. It's probably going to be really easy for me to use that kit because I really have leaned into rest this year and recognizing when I need to just take it easy. And this, I don't know, I feel like the kit's going to be really fun to kind of dive into the highs and lows. So the last one I have is catch up on my reading journal. I have gotten behind on putting together my reading journal pages, and I don't know which one I'm going to share next. I don't know if it's September or October. I think I'm going to skip the summer and maybe save it for extra content next summer. I haven't decided, but I have been planning all my pages, cutting all the pieces, and when I decided to make this as one of my goals, I again wanted to make one of those divided boxes. And I'm going to count the stats and calendars as one part and then the reviews as a second part. So I think I wound up with 10 boxes. And so as soon as I get a box done, I can again color it. So I have 5 main goals, and hopefully I can get them done. Who knows? We shall see. There is not that much school this month. We always jokingly call it No School November because we have days off for Veterans Day and also minimum days for conferences and then a break for Thanksgiving. So we shall see what I can get done with a little bit of extra time. So the first box I'm going to draw is about the photos that I print. I just want to keep a kind of a running list of which photos I am printing. So I'll color that in with a light pink color and then leave a little space up at the top for a heading that says photos printed. And then, like I said, I could fill it in. On the other side of the page, I am going to do 3 boxes, and I think I'm going to continue doing a creative goals, but I like I said earlier, I like the idea of having like a having it like right in front of me and being able to see it right in front of me, like on my wall. So I'm really loving the idea of like maybe, not a calendar. I don't want a calendar. So I'm trying to brainstorm something that I could have on my wall and I can be able to see it, if that makes sense. Now I'm like excited about that, having it right in front of me, because I have no room on my desk. There's no more room on my journaling desk to put anything else. I should probably also think about cleaning that up. That is one of my next goals that I'm making right now, is a creative space cleanup. I want to brainstorm different areas in my space that need to be cleaned up. You know, think about, am I actually using this? Is it serving a purpose for me? Is there like a project that I need to just let go of? Really kind of go through my space and see what needs to be worked on. I did start over the weekend condensing my printables that I have from like at least 5 years prior, and condensing those, you know, just putting them in the recycling, just letting them go. And then, you know, I can always print more. That's the thing I have to remind myself. I can print more. And nowadays, I really like things in clear sticker paper when I'm doing it for my journal. So it doesn't always make sense to have the die cuts. And a lot of the times I like to plan my pages digitally. So I don't really know what I have physically because that's not really where I start, if that makes sense. And third thing is I may be changing the way that I document myself next year, so I don't need as much supplies. I really just feel this urge to just simplify a little bit and not make things so complicated, because time for me is limited. So I made these next 2 boxes, and then I think my camera shut off or something happened. I forgot to push the play button. I don't know. Maybe a kid interrupted me. Either way, you didn't get to see me color in these 2 boxes. One I colored in pink and the other one I colored in mint, and then I added some gray behind it to kind of make a 3-dimensional box. At least that's, you know, the tutorial that, you know, it looked like 3-dimensional when I was using the tutorial, but who knows if I actually achieved that. It is what it is, and I'm not redrawing it. So that long pink one is going to be afternoon scrapbooking, not necessarily like doing like day by day, what do I do in the afternoon, but just kind of just jotting down like a little note about what I do in the afternoons. Because I can get so wrapped up in all the other things that need to be done. But I do always get to my journal most days, so that is a good thing. And then the other one the other box is going to be faves, just jotting down anything that was a favorite for the month. And then I could move on to the second spread where I just make it very simple with breaking down my goals into different sections. And I think I'm going to wind up with 6 different sections. So I'm going to draw those and then again wrap it up. This page, it doesn't have to be complicated. Does not. I don't even use my ruler to draw these boxes. I use the dot grid paper to kind of guide me, and if I draw it straight, great. If I don't, that's okay too. So the top one is going to be October Daily. The next one is Project Life, and I'm not even putting a year. I'm just Project Life. What do I get done? Write it down. And then the last one is going to be High and Low Ideas. Brainstorming those ideas and seeing what I can come up with. Over on the right hand side, it's going to be the creative space and YouTube ideas. I actually had an amazing subscriber. It doesn't say her name in her name, so I don't know what her name is. But she gave me so many fantastic suggestions for different content ideas, so I'm going to write those down. And then if you guys have any content suggestions, I would absolutely love them. I'll probably be asking you guys more in depth in a video coming later this year, towards the end of the year. But I really want to think about YouTube and what kind of content I want to continue to put out and what content do I want to just let go. So I've got creative space, YouTube, and then reading journal because I got everything mostly printed for the reading journal. Now it's a matter of just putting it together. I love that little cat sitting on the YouTube symbol. I think that was another piece that I recolored. And then, of course, the cat on all the supplies, and it says My Happy Place. I think that is fantastic. I even printed a second one so I could use it in my journal at some point. And after this, I was thinking, what else can I add to my spread? And once I get that last box done for the reading journal, that's where I wanted to just add a little bit of something. I don't really have any other stickers. I don't want to run to the computer and print more stickers because that'll take too long. So what I'm going to do is, of course, go to my stamps. And I'm going to stamp a large phrase below the cat and the desk, and it will be details. So that works perfect because this is all about the details. And then I know a lot of people love stamping with the Tombows. I'm still learning how to do it, but I am going to try it in just a second. I stamped This Hobby Has My Heart. I stamped that several times. These are all Ali Edwards stamps that I'm using. I'm going to grab my kind of mint colored green, the darker version, and I'm going to use that to color over the phrase So Much Joy, and then stamp it at the top, and then use the second and third stamping as well, just to add a little bit more. And I like how it looks. It just kind of looks, I don't know, wet, smudged. I don't know. Like I said, I'm still learning, and that's okay. I just tried it, and I went with it. I also colored in the hearts with my Tombow. The heart, it's shaped like a heart, but has a bunch of teeny tiny dots, as you can see. So I just used the Tombow to color that in and add in a little more of that dark greenish color. And then over on this front page, I'm going to add a few more of the hearts and just coloring them in. I also have a phrase that I'm going to put above the clipboard that says Making It Work, but I accidentally didn't pay attention to where I was stamping Make It Work, so that it wound up on the clear sticker paper and smudged. So that's okay, because when you stamp on clear sticker paper, you got to use that StazOn ink, and I was not. I was using VersaFine. So down at the bottom, I stamped Making Magic, and I love it. So just a little bit of stamped sentiments, and then that's it. We can just call this done, and I can get moving on my goals and focusing on the direction that I want to go for November before we roll into December and having December daily. So I hope you guys have enjoyed seeing this second part of my November journal setup. I love talking about all the goals and creative stuff with you guys. I'd love a thumbs up or a subscribe if you are new to my channel. Have a great day. Bye.